So our journey on RAF Cosford continues, and I decided in this particular video to fast forward us to the next stage, which is where we had the Cold War Museum. Now, the Cold War Museum is simply that period in time immediately after the World War II, which was between 1945 and 1948. And there was this conflict between the major superpowers, which was the United States and the USSR. And the conflicts were all about the ideologies and the mistrust and the power struggle between these two major superpowers. So this led to a lot of tension going on between these two major countries, where the other countries had to take sides on whose side they were lenient to, or subjected to agreeing with their ideologies. The USA always goes on the capitalist system and preaching democracy all the time, while the USSR believed in dictatorship and socialist system. So in the end, these two major powers agreed to disagree, and it created what was then known as the Cold War. And features in this period was all about the East and the West and the social changes of the time. And this museum then focused on showcasing the amazing technological breakthroughs that was produced at that time. So looking through these clips, you see all the major war powers and aircrafts and missiles and squadrons and people and ships and vehicles that were used at the time. It's a much bigger hangar, and the kind of aircraft you see here are so big. I mean, you can see this particular one that's right now here. I wouldn't say you per se, but if anybody hasn't experienced war, visiting this place will give you a clearer picture of what this is really all about. And it's such a weird coincidence that the Iran-American war and Israeli war is going on, and I happen to be in this place. So it somehow really connected me to what's going on out there, that we may think we're so far away from it. Well, people are actually going through this hell and dying. I mean, some of the machines, some of the aircrafts are so mind-blowing. I mean, look at those. That you begin to wonder. My concerns were, who could stand this type of equipment? Who could possibly stand them? I mean, imagine something like this landing in your village or in your town or in your city, and maybe bursting into flames and things like that. But this is what war is all about. So this particular hangar contained what they call the Avro-Vulcan B2s, and they include what they also know as the V-bombers. And the V-bombers include Vulcan, Victor, and Valiant. Then there's Handley Page Victor K2, Vickers Valiant, the one I mentioned earlier, English Electric Lightning, McDonnell Douglas Phantom FG1. There were just endless aircraft, and you could not possibly just remember all the names. I mean, there wasn't a list that you could just read it down and say, okay, this is the list of all the aircraft in this place. My research says to me there's about 70 aircrafts in this hangar, but I mean, you couldn't possibly sit down and be counting them. But this particular hangar, I mean, look at this one. It's a missile. And when you see something like this and you imagine what's really going on, it's really scary. Really, really scary. I mean, some fun facts I read there. That's me showing my face in this place. Some fun facts I read there included something like 124,420,813 miles were flown during the airlift in 277,804 flights. This was in Berlin, and this was at the height of the airlift. There was one landing or takeoff at Gatow Airport in Berlin every second. I mean, think about that for a moment. Every second there was a takeoff and a landing in Gatow Airport in Berlin. And 68,000 people, mainly the weak and the vulnerable, young and elderly, were evacuated from Berlin at the height of this period. So 68,000 people, mainly the vulnerable. I mean, look at that vehicle. Can you imagine that coming towards you? So these people were airlifted and taken away, evacuated and sent to safety. There were 40 tons per day of dried milk were flown into Berlin at that period. So a lot happened during this period. A lot happened. And while we may think this is history, it's happening right now in Iran and all its neighboring countries, the Gulf countries, and Israel. So who knows what type of history will be written again about what's going on right now in future. But this is what happens when world leaders disagree. And this is the world we live in. And I'm still in shock as to how I happen to be in this place at this time, as this is happening right now in the world. It just brought home the message. The message became so clear. So if you want to just have an understanding of what war really means, go and visit Royal Air Force Museum in Cosford. And of course, there's another one in London as well. So it's just the two of them in the UK. But look at all this aircraft. That's the inside of one of it. We tried so hard to try and see what the inside looks like, what the pilots had to experience, where they were sitting in there. You know, these brave pilots who had to go through all this. Brave people. And most of them were quite young people. 19 years old, 20 years old, having to lift something like this and going into the air and going, not knowing if they will get back home to their families. So a visit here will be very, very valuable and useful to you. So if you're near London, go to the London Museum, and if you're in the Midlands and in the North, visit the RAF Cosford. I would really like to hear your take on wars. What do you think? What are your thoughts? I mean, how do you find this type of scenarios that we... So what are your thoughts? Share your thoughts with us. Tell us what you think about what's going on in the world and all the confusion going on and how world order can be restored. See you in the next video.